What up, world? It's your woman butterfly. Y'all, ride to work with me real quick. Because I meant to make a video yesterday, but when I get in from work, I am so tired. I just plop down, soak my feet, and go to sleep. But there are things that I need to get on here and tell y'all. So, here we go. Actually, I need to check my mail, but I'll do that tomorrow. Alright, so I really want to get through this freaking story because it's annoying me that y'all don't know it all. But y'all need to hear this, okay? Because it just got absolutely crazy in the end, and I realized that I was in the spirit realm the whole time. So, here we go. Alright? Now, first, I want to clear something up here because we got people coming on the show, thinking crazy and saying crazy stuff and just totally misunderstanding what I'm trying to say, and probably because it's easy to misunderstand what I'm trying to say. All right, now, the only reason why I even went into detail about my marriage, because this is not about my marriage, but the only reason why I went into detail about it was to show how the devil can be on both sides, how he can be in your marriage and he can be outside your marriage if there's doors being opened for him, okay, or for it, because the devil is an it, okay. He started out as a him, but there's some pictures out there of who the devil is in the physical realm, and it's like a picture of the Baphomet. If you want to go look it up, and if you look at the Baphomet, it has breasts, and it's androgynous, so it could be male or female. So the devil started out as a male, but now he's an it. Just like he's tricking many people to be like him, to be a it instead of to be what God formed you to be. All right. All right. So, was my husband a bad person? I didn't say that my husband was a bad person. Okay. I don't know if my husband was a bad person. All right. I just know that my marriage was bad, and I also feel like, sometimes people who have money, they play games with other people because they are rich and you are poor in their eyes. So I really feel like it was some kind of experiment for him or something like that, or it was just some kind of game. It was some kind of let me see what you're gonna do type deal, because he took care of me to the he took care of me. I'm not going to say the best he could, because he treated me a certain way when he took care of me. Yes, he would give me his card to like go get groceries and to do other things, stuff that he didn't want to do. Because he worked and I didn't. So, I was able to get the debit card and go get groceries for the family and stuff that we needed. And that just didn't mix well with me because I was used to men giving me everything, you know what I'm saying, and always saying yes, and when I met my husband, I expected him to be like putty in my hands, but he wasn't. He was his own man, so that was just another reason why we didn't work, so it wasn't just all him, it was me too. All right. My mindset. Okay. So anyway, it still was really bad on his part sometimes, because I remember but God still was there for me, because he saw that I was trying to not be in the club, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, one day I came in the house. Well, I didn't come in the house. One day I was kind of sad because when my daughter wasn't with us, I wanted her to be with us. And my husband was the one that taught me about Goodwill, because before I met him, I used to like spend money that I didn't have in the malls and in the flea markets, and where stuff is brand new, while meanwhile you could get the same. You should always duck your head in Goodwill first, because a lot of people sleep on Goodwill. Like, you can get some, especially if you have babies, like the baby clothes at Goodwill are 92 cents, 50 cents sometimes. So it's like your baby can look like a superstar, especially with small children, because small children grow so fast. So it's like you could go in there and get clothes for $1, and your child will look really nice with very nice clothes. Okay, so when I discovered that, I thought that was, when he told me about that, I thought that was so great, and I wanted to get some clothes for my daughter and send them to her, right? So at this time, I was not working. I was just a housewife. All of the money was in his hands, and it was just very tough for me because I was used to having my own money. So I wasn't used to having to ask my husband for money. And at times, he told me no when I needed to hear no, because I was used to pissing money away. You know what I mean? But there was one day when it was a couple of days when it was just to exercise his power, and that was another thing that drove me away. So one day I asked him for $5, and because I wanted to get some clothes from the Goodwill for my daughter, and I was like, can I have $5? And he goes, what do you need $5 for? And it was like the way he said it, the amount of money that I asked for, and I just said never mind, right? And I was so mad, right? And I went out of the house. I went for a walk because it just hurt my feelings so bad. I had to spend time with God after my man questioned me when I asked him for $5. You know what I mean? So I went to the store. I went to the Goodwill to just look at clothes that I could even buy because I didn't have the $5, right? And I just hurt so bad. And I was like, God, you told me that you don't want me to dance anymore. But I'm here asking people for $5. People that I'm married to. Like, it was just such a hurtful feeling, right? My stomach dropped, right? And anytime my stomach drops, see, y'all, God, anytime my heart drops, God takes care of it, okay? I'm telling you, He doesn't want you to be sad. He doesn't want you to hurt. He will give you a sign, all right? So let me tell you the sign that He gave me that day. All right, so when I was coming back from the store, there's some woods that you walk through when you go to that store. And I was walking through the woods, and all of a sudden I looked around, and there were all these clothes in the woods. It was like they just rained in the woods, right? So like pants, pair of pants over here, pair of pants over here, pair of pants over here, just hanging from the trees, right? And I know somebody's probably watching this video like, oh, I wouldn't get no clothes out of the woods. Oh, I wouldn't. But I took all of those clothes, okay, washed them twice, right? And they were perfect for my daughter, right? So I sent them to her, and I was so happy, and I felt like it was a sign from God, just comforting me and telling me that it was going to be okay. And He did that a couple of times while I was married. Like when I went to Virginia and I almost got stranded there, this strange girl picked me up because I was waiting at the bus station, and the bus station was about to close, and I didn't know it. I didn't know this bus schedule or anything like that, and I was trying to ride the bus back home, and she picked me up, and she was just so calm, and something about her spirit. She was just like, you're gonna be all right. She was like, you're gonna be all right. Like, just the way she was, I felt like it was God, and then on the bus ride back home, the sun was just glowing on my face, and I felt like it was God telling me, because I was so ashamed and so sorry for what I did, and I felt like that it was God just telling me to go back where He wanted me to be. All right, so that kind of stuff happened while I was married. All right, but still, like, the stuff that went on at home, and just me not being strong enough, and just the hacking, I ended up back in the club, and I was driving my husband's car to dance. Now, during that time, I made money because I told what was going on, and if you are in the club and you're a dancer and you're married, then you become like a charity case to the customers. You become like a challenge for them. If you go in a strip club and you tell these guys that you're driving your husband's car to get here, and just talking about your problems at home, they give you all the money in the world, okay, and they just try to make it seem like they could be so much better. And I'm telling you, I was a total charity case. So with the help of the devil, I ended up getting away from my husband. I ended up getting my own car. I ended up finding a roommate, okay, and I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything before I move on. Me and my daughter, when I found this roommate, he was really cool. I mean, he was like, I'll help you get away, just like the devil would, right? And I mean, but of course he started to like me, and that's the reason why I moved out, But while we were there, we were like in bliss, because he was, dang, there's a big old dog. Y'all see that big old dog? That dog is too big to be in that gate. Anyway, he just bust out of that gate. He jumped that gate. Anyway, okay, so during this time, me and my daughter were in complete, total bliss, because my roommate was never there. He was never home. And when he did get home, I was at the club, and my daughter was at the babysitter. Okay, my daughter loved her school. Okay, and we just loved the townhome that we lived in. She had her own room, and it was just a really happy time. Okay, because that's what the devil does when he successfully destroys, when he successfully uproots you from where God wants you to be. He will create like a soft pallet for you to land on, to make it seem like you did something good. Okay, because at this time, I put my daughter on a dance team, and we stayed there for about, I think we stayed there for almost 2 months. Okay, so it seemed like, things were gonna be good. I was able to save a lot of money while I was there. I had my car, and I saved up enough money to get my own home, okay? Because my roommate was kind of starting to drive me nuts. But, of course my daughter, she was shielded from all of this, so she didn't understand why we were moving out. But she didn't even want to go. But when she saw that we were moving into our own place, then she was happy, okay? And we really thought that the happiness was gonna continue, but that's not what the devil does, okay? That's not what he does, all right? He doesn't let your happiness continue. He doesn't want you to be happy, all right? So we moved into our own home, all right? And it was a 4-bedroom home. It was huge, okay? It had 2 upstairs, it had 3 rooms upstairs, and then it had the master downstairs. It was really a nice home for almost $1,000 a month. Now, I was making that. I could afford that, but what happened was the devil, the winter months started to come. All right, and the devil began to show his behind. All right, he began to show me what he really did to me. All right, because I was just in bliss, and I was just so happy that I was free. All right, but as soon as I got into this house, the very first month that I was there, I get a water bill for $800. And mind you, it's the winter months now, so the clubs are getting kind of slow. Nobody wants to come to the clubs anymore. Everybody wants to cuddle with their family during the winter time. So I got a bill for $800 because when I moved in, the landlord, there was some kind of busted pipe in the back, some busted water pipe or something, and I guess it was my responsibility, even though I just moved there. So the landlord didn't want to pay for it. The city didn't want to pay for it. The city was charging me for it like it was my fault. And I'm just telling y'all this to show y'all how the devil will drag you down. You know, you think that it's time for bliss, but it's not. It's time for ignorance, and it's time for sadness. And during this time, Mr. Bad Romance, he was silent, because, you know, I really believe that the spirit of the... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about another time. During this time, he was reaching out to me a whole lot just to see what I was doing, but he wasn't coming around. He was, like, on social media, reaching out to me, texting me, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing now? He knew that I was living in... Can I go this way? What are these people doing? He knew that I was living in Charlotte, but he was just asking what I was doing, you know. And he also mocked my marriage when he found out about that. So he was just making it... He's like the main reason why I left. Okay, and I actually did see him one time when I had my husband's car, and I just felt really bad, you know. And just like I said in my other video, when men see you do stuff like that, you really think that that's cool, okay? But they're observing you, all right? If you go see your boyfriend in your husband's car, then your boyfriend is gonna look at that like you would do that to him, okay? Even though it don't matter why you was doing it, because in my mind I was thinking, oh, I just don't care anymore because my husband doesn't love me anyway. He's giving me his car to go to the strip club and dance for other men, so he doesn't even care. So I need to go see somebody who cares about me. Even though you have all that in your mind, you're still being observed as if you was my woman, okay? So don't do stuff like that, all right? So anyway, we living in this house, and all of a sudden, the devil just started to show, okay? He stopped giving me all the money he was giving. It stopped giving me all the money he was giving me in the club, all right? Mr. Bad Romance was reaching out to me, but he wasn't coming around. Okay, for the first couple of weeks that I was there. But he started to come around like maybe like 2 months after I moved in. He started to come around, okay? And it was kind of hard because, you know, my daughter, I'm supposed to be an example for her, and she's seeing all of this. You know, I was trying to hide the fact that he was coming around from my daughter, because I want my daughter to have a better life than I did. You know, I don't want her to be, you know, dating after she has children. I want her to be married already, have her children by the same person. I want her to not have any children until she has found her best friend and she's married. I want her to have all her children by the same guy, you know. And you could want that for your daughter, but if you're not being that example, she has nothing else to look up to. So the times he did come around, I would try to hide him. And I remember one day, I let him in the house like 3 times. And I remember one morning, I was getting her ready for school, and I was trying to hide him. And he snores, right? So when he was snoring, she was like, who is that? And I was like, I don't know, it must be somebody next door, right? And then he goes, right? And he coughs. And she was like, is somebody here? And I was like, I just went ahead and told her that he was in the house. And she was like, just sounding confused as a child, and it was just like, it's just embarrassing, because it's like, that's not the way to go. And you're trying to make yourself happy or whatever, or be happy for yourself, but you have to be an example for your child. Okay, you cannot fall for the devil's tricks in front of your child, because what's going to happen is your child is going to grow up falling for the devil's tricks, and it's just going to be a vicious cycle. All right, so this video is getting kind of long. I'm gonna when I tell that story, I just go into all these different parts and different places, but I really hope that y'all can follow me, because right now I'm at the time when I was in Charlotte. Okay, I was dancing, but the bills were piling up, and I had this big house, and the money was slowing down because the club was cold. Mr. Bad Romance was reaching out to me, and he would come over every once in a while. He's come over 3 times. The last time he came over, he was loud, so that's where we are now. All right, I'm going to stay with me with this story. Okay, see y'all on the next episode of the Butterfly Show. Gotta go to work. Bye.